Welcome back to your latest industry recap. ITA Airways are expanding. Etihad Airways has ordered new aircraft and Qantas has confirmed an international route. Want to begin there with the Australian flag carrier relaunching international flights from Adelaide later this year as part of network enhancement efforts. The company confirming it'll offer non-stop service between Adelaide and Auckland in New Zealand from October 2025. The service now offers excellent possibilities for South Australians who can access New Zealand with Qantas, enabling greater international connectivity. Qantas points directly towards popular international services such as the airline's Auckland to New York flight acting as QF3. These services can now be reached, translating to more North American connectivity. Many have criticised the flag carrier's lack of international presence in Adelaide, which is still an established city in the country in recent times, and now confirming the relaunch represents a step that many would believe is in the right direction. The service will depart for the first time on Friday the 31st of October with a launch fare of 699 AUD economy return for an initial travel period of 2 months at the beginning and then towards the end of service in January and March. While much anticipation has arrived, this will not be a year-round operation, at least at the beginning. Qantas confirmed it'll simply be seasonal to meet the significant levels of demand that it sees and to get a bit of a feel. Therefore, 4 weekly flights will be offered on the airline's reliable 737-800 departing from the 31st of October. Service is expected to end on the 3rd of May 2026, so certainly an extended seasonal period, if you will. It isn't uncommon for new service launches such as these to be trialled on a seasonal basis before turning into year-round. It gives the company the perfect chance to gauge interest, load factors, and demand. If the seasonal service is deemed a success, not only is it likely to return for the next season, but if costs and capacity line up, it may also return for year-round operations at some point. While Qantas will utilise the 737, with Boeing looking forward, the eventual addition of planes such as the expected Airbus A321XLR will not only help bring more international flying to markets as South Australia, but will also help with fleet renewal efforts. The 737 definitely remains a workhorse for the Australian flag carrier. However, it is starting to show signs of age compared to more emerging single-aisle types, and Qantas has committed to those emerging ones for its future. Despite delays in acquiring the A321XLR, the airline is confident that this single-aisle plane will have the impact it desires and help boost capacity across its domestic and short-haul international network. Over to the next story, and Etihad Airways has purchased more Boeing aircraft as part of a significant deal announced between the UAE and the US. The White House fact sheet viewed by Reuters and then later the airline confirmed a commitment to 28 wide-body planes from the American manufacturer. The deal includes a reporting of 28 787 and 777X jets to elevate the Abu Dhabi-based carrier's long-haul fleet capabilities. The purchase also comes just days after Qatar Airways also committed to more Boeing planes, with this being their largest wide-body aircraft order in their history and the largest for the plane maker. The aircraft, which are to be powered by GE engines, are considered to be yet another win for the United States, which has been conducting in the last few weeks. You may have seen trade talks with the Middle East, and we have seen, therefore, quite significant new commercial airplane orders. Talk of the airline's possible purchase of a new widebody first actually hit headlines in around October 2024, when reporting suggested that the 777X, but also the A350, were candidates for the airline's business. Long-haul flying is important, and Etihad Airways needs to find a balance of high-capacity and medium-capacity wide-body jets to try help it with demand. Unfortunately, as we know, in terms of your ultra-high-capacity planes, well, they're no longer really being produced, and those that are currently available have experienced colossal delays in either their delivery or even obtaining certification, and I am looking to the 777-9, which many would consider to be the next best thing available on market. For Etihad, the new aircraft purchase definitely aligns with their intent to continue growing as they approach 2030. It is known as Journey 2030. This endeavour aims to overhaul the business and puts greater emphasis on the airline's growth. To ensure that growth can be achieved, Etihad Airways firmly believes that a new aircraft purchase was always going to be required. Now the 777X and 787 have been selected as the optimal choice to enhance long-haul flying across future decades. The purchase of new commercial aircraft at Etihad Airways will always be scrutinised much more closely than, say, for other business businesses, given that their history, well, it's been a little bit rocky. You may remember they tried to expand quite significantly in the 2010s, but crumbled. It was a horrid expansion that focused on growing too quickly, resulting in too many planes being ordered and a pretty shocking amount of investments in airlines that weren't really in the best position when Etihad chose to invest, leaving the carrier bleeding money and forced to enter restructuring. Now, Etihad will be attempting to find sustainable growth methods, and this latest aircraft purchase is seen as important in achieving those growth targets moving forward. Over to the final story, and ITA Airways is plotting an expansion of its international network as it focuses in on more long-haul markets. Driven by the backing of Lufthansa Group, which recently completed a 41% acquisition of the Italian carrier at the beginning of this year, new opportunities are now finally within reach. In an exclusive interview with local Italian media, the airline's chief executive officer commented that many new international long-haul routes are being studied. ITA Airways boasts one of the youngest fleets in our industry, let alone in Europe, so therefore it has quite a strong reliance on next-generation planes, and it believes it will be able to utilize this, leveraging it really, to serve some of these new markets. Long-haul routes not currently on the network are being studied, and 5 markets are being evaluated to determine which really is more feasible when a launch could be deemed realistic. Although the airline did not publicly mention specific cities in the interview with the local Italian media, the carrier's interest in expanding its presence across North America has been long documented, and many popular cities in the Star Alliance network that are not currently served could definitely be added to the ITA Airways operation. They believe they have had to navigate some obstacles in terms of their ability to serve international traffic. This is something they're still trying to find ways to overcome, but certainly when you look at airspace restrictions spurred on by conflict in Russia, it is something worth considering when they are targeting specific markets and why some may be priority over others. It doesn't mean they aren't looking to Asia to eventually expand, but they've time and time again brought up those airspace restrictions as maybe something that becomes a deterrence. Given also Lufthansa Group's grip on ITA Airways and its planned increase to a majority stake, a fair degree of liaison work needs to be made to determine the best locations that ITA Airways operated aircraft can actually head towards. The Italian carrier for the group represents endless opportunities, remembering that this is a country that the broader group has struggled to crack into for an extended period due to increased competition, and exactly why Lufthansa Group was so keen on getting its hands on ITA Airways. Now with that grip, there's greater chance to use the fleet of ITA to their advantage, establish greater connectivity, and remember, when you consider that ITA will be joining the Star Alliance next year, well, this can play a massive role in the airports that they go on to choose to serve. With the stake eventually looking to be a majority, it's exciting times ahead, and I'd love to hear down below in the comments some of the markets that you would personally like to see ITA Airways fly to, knowing that they are still a developing airline, even if they are Alitalia 2.0. Thanks for watching, take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll fly.